So at the beginning of this year, a few weeks before school started, we had some issues with registration for our high school students. That was caused by a number of reasons. We want to make sure to clearly state that we are not blaming parents for that in any way. We are not blaming students for any of these issues. It's not your fault, and we realize that. We also want to apologize for the frustration that you felt, for the extra time you had to spend on this, and for any uncertainty that your students especially experienced. That being said, can you tell us a little bit about how this sort of situation came about?
Yes, absolutely. If you ever see a high school master schedule, it's like the worst puzzle on earth ever. In order to make sure that we don't schedule the wrong classes at the same time so that kids have the most choices as possible, last year one of the big concerns that we'd had from our fine arts department are all of our amazing band kids and our choir kids were really struggling to take those AP classes that they needed. So we worked so hard to fix that this year. We really believed we were on the right track. Unfortunately, you know, when you add over 180 kids to a schedule like that at the last minute, it does cause some issues. We had to adjust a lot. We had to move students out of classes that were too full because the system overloaded the classes. We had initially we had some classes that it was built in with 44 kids, which nobody wants 44 kids in a classroom. So we were working through those changes, adding the courses that we needed based on the grade levels that were enrolling, and basically as we were creating all that stuff, more and more people were enrolling, so we were consistently trying to catch up with what was happening. So that is hard. There's no easy way to fix that. That being said, our counseling staff, I truly could not ask them to work more or harder than they are now. And I know it's so frustrating to a parent or a student that sends an email that's really looking for, you know, something to get fixed now. And there's no easy way to say that with, you know, 400 kids, schedules that were affected by this, or more in some cases, it depended on the class, sometimes less. There's no easy way to say that, you know, we'll fix it and we'll get to it and we know it's important to you, but we can't fix everybody all at once. That's just not humanly possible with 6 counselors. Okay. So Miss Young and myself, we jumped into helping with those schedule changes. We've all received emails and tried to work through those. I know last weekend I did almost 200 schedules by myself. So, and sometimes it's just adding a class or something got double scheduled because of the adjustments that we made. And we're working through it as quickly as we can, but unfortunately that many kids just upset the system a little too much for that to be smooth for anybody. I do want to say, as I was talking to several parents, because I have had several parents meet with me, I was reminded, my son graduated from Buena, and I was reminded that we have had a lot of issues with our registration for quite a few years. We are committed to completely changing this process, because as much as parents and students never want to go through this again, I promise none of the staff want to do that either. It's so stressful for everybody, because we want more than anything for every student who comes through those doors to know this is my schedule, I'm going to go to my teachers and I'm not going to have any changes. We want that as much as they do. So we will be making some changes. Next week I've got a committee coming together of everybody who was involved in this process. We'll be having an after action report which will prompt us to move forward with the plan for next year. I've already been talking to our information management folks who have worked so hard to assist with this process. We already know we need to do things very differently next year. I can tell you right off the bat, one of the things I'm fine with saying out loud, because we are going to do it, is that the incoming freshman registration process, rather than doing something on paper or putting it into a Google form, which was a better process than what we did in the past, but not what we need to do. But we'll either go to the schools that the kids are coming from or invite them to Buena and actually input them in the system so that we can have everything done before they ever get to us. It's just really important that we be able to do that, and especially for our incoming freshmen, give them the reassurance that we do care that they have a fresh start and a good start, and they come in confident. I'm going to throw in a little shout out to Miss Young, because she did our first freshman orientation before school started, which went so much better than we expected. For those freshmen, I think the reason there isn't more anxiety from them in this process is that they had that start, and our fine arts, our theater kids, and our JROTC students were so helpful in that process. And it was a wonderful display of how Buena comes together to welcome people. And originally we only had 387 registrations. What I learned later is that sometime between the morning of when I looked and when we started, it went up to over 450.
Oh, wow.
So the majority of our freshmen came and experienced that together, which was amazing.
I was privileged enough to attend the freshman orientation, and I can say that I am completely jealous of the freshmen for the fun things that they got to do. There was tug of war, there was so many different things, and they got the chance to really tour the campus as well and bond with their fellow classmates. I think that made things a lot less intimidating for a lot of them.
And it's a big deal because here in Sierra Vista, being the only high school, the only public high school for kids to come to, they're coming to us from lots of different schools, and the different schools are different sizes, and they have different ways that they do things. So getting an opportunity to come together and make Buena a little less intimidating, because it is a big school, make it a little less intimidating for them is always great.
I have to say, I was not only awed by the staff that organized this, but also by the students themselves. The amount of help that they offered to their classmates, just being outgoing and willing to experience something great like this, it was really amazing. I think that was a great summary of kind of the struggles that we faced, but also a lot of the positives that we've encountered in the first few days of school.
I have had more positive emails from parents, and not that it's all happy and everything's going great, because we acknowledge that there are things we need to improve, but I so appreciate all the people who've been sending me, this is what our concern was, but here's some ideas on how we could fix it.
Oh, great.
Some of those we're working on implementing in our new parent pickup process. I guess I just want to, be sure to let folks know, we appreciate when you let us know the things that are concerning to you, and let us know, how we can fix it, because oftentimes you're the person going through that and experiencing it. I haven't experienced, high school as a parent for a while now, but we always appreciate your perspective, and so appreciate the constructive, emails, and we've had so many emails with positivity about the helpfulness of the staff and things like that too. So I so appreciate that.
So talking a bit about the pickup line, I guess I forgot to mention that pickup line, not as in dating, but pickup as in parent pickup of students after school.
Yes.
We had to change that for safety reasons, is that right?
Well, we used to have parent pickup in the back side of the school where the staff parking is in the circle. The issue was that we were essentially having people park blocking a fire lane, which is never a safe thing to do. Our water lines are back there and everything. We just can't do that. So we worked with Sierra Vista Fire Department, Sierra Vista Police Department, and our maintenance folks that were all so helpful. Came up with another plan. We're looking to make some adjustments to that. Some of the ideas that are out there are possibly adding like a lean-to or an awning off of the bus barn fencing so that students have a covered area to be under. It's just a matter of securing the equipment to do that, and then getting the work done. Another one that was amazing, one of the emails that a parent sent, was having the numbers painted on the parking spots where parents are waiting, kind of like a cell lot, so that they can tell students I'm in spot 12 and they know right where to go. That was a brilliant idea, and we're working on those types of things now. So again, any suggestions, we welcome them. We're just trying to make it a safe place. One of the other things that we're working on is we want to really make sure that the crosswalk, the areas where the students cross, is clearly identified on the roads so that we don't have people crossing all over the place. We'll be working on that, and then one of the things that we'll be doing is the SRO will be including some safety tips in my emails when we send them out.
And SRO, that's our school resource officer?
Yes, school resource officer is Officer Van Wessep, and
right.
He has been truly amazing. Students are commenting all over the place about how just positive he is, and he's everywhere.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us about these concerns and questions. Anything that you'd like to add?
No, I just am looking forward to a really good school year, and I want to reiterate, communication is key. So always, send me ideas, concerns, and we look forward to an amazing year.
Great. Hear, hear. Thank you all for watching and commenting. We appreciate your feedback. We really do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.